Unique New York. Unique New York. Oh, we're recording. Here we go. The path to a six-figure venture. Welcome back, guys. Hope you are doing awesome. Guess what? We're on module 3 now. You've made it to module 3. Woo! Now let's dive in. Educating and creating content is the topic this time, and we are thrilled to have you guys along with us. You remember last time? What did you learn? And what have you guys been learning? Well, you figured out how to find who your customer will be, how to target them, and now let's dive into how to effectively communicate with those people that you found. Are you ready? Here we go. Education. Education never ends. It just doesn't. Whether it's from a newborn baby to learning how to talk, to crawl, to being in preschool, to elementary school, to middle school, to high school, to college, to whatever it may be, you're always learning. And guess what? People are always wanting to learn more about everything, whether or not it's just life, but jobs, careers, relationships. We're always learning. And so education is so important. So how can you educate others so that eventually they buy the things that you want them to buy? So remember, if people are not learning from you, they won't come back. Educate while not giving away your special sauces for free. Think about the broadest amount of information that you can give away. And once a critical mass is established, we're going to funnel them down into leads and encourage them to purchase. We'll go over that entire process in module 4 and 5. But right now we're going to focus on the educational piece and how you can take your you being an expert and educating that. So the first thing you need to think about is ads are everywhere, literally everywhere. You see 5,000 ads a day. Did you know that? 5,000 ads right now. Just look at your computer. What's open, right? Look at the cell phone that you're using, the computer that you're using, the last few emails that you've gotten, the watch you're wearing. Everything is an advertisement. So if you're seeing 5,000 ads a day, you really have to stand out and be different. So how can you be different? Be the one that's not selling. Educate them. The average human is exposed to thousands of advertisements a day. You have 1 in a 5,000 chance. You have to be different. You have to think out of the box. You must educate rather than push sales. Remember, we're going to make sales, but we want to educate first rather than push, and be that pushy used car salesman or that oil salesman. One line that I love that is deposit more than you can withdraw. It's an unbelievable line. And we want to dive down the funnel and figure out who really is interested. So how can you educate potential and current customers? 3 awesome ideas or ways that you can do this are a Dummies guide to insert topic, right? So what do you want to talk about? Maybe you're looking to build an iPhone application. So you could do a Dummies guide to launching your iPhone application. Or maybe you want to do a Dummies guide to podcasting. You could also you can also tour a recently finished project. So maybe you've been working on a lot of different things. Maybe you just built a workbench, or maybe you did just finish an iPhone application. You can tour a recently finished project. What I mean by that is showcasing it and showing other people the step-by-step ways that you created that and finished that project. And finally, guest speakers. What I love about guest speakers is that you're able to leverage all of their brands into one event, basically. And so you're not getting one, you might be getting 2 or 3, and so you're able to take their expertise and basically have your platform on top of it. Dummies guide. Take a broad topic and break it down into several smaller parts And each part is split by giving more examples. So again, if you're doing the iPhone application, let's say there's 5 different parts. It's the the tools could be the first one that you need. Then the second one could be the bones of it. Then the third can be actually building the application. The fourth could be getting it on the App Store, and fifth could be marketing it. Those are 5 simple ways that you can break down an iPhone application and tour that, or create a Dummies guide to that. You guys are familiar with the Dummies guide books, right? So it's the how-to everythings, and that's exactly a perfect way for you to take an already existing platform and work on top of it. Collect all the data and either create a written white paper or host an event or a series of events on this topic. If people really need to learn this information, they're going to want to get that information from you. And so we'll talk about ways in the second part of this module on how to take a white paper and get something in return for it from these people, from the people that may want it. A project tour. So one thing that we've done in the past that was a great way for us to not only encourage the growth of our company, but also it was a way for us to tour a project that we had finished so that we could hire new employees, but then also get our brand out there so that people could see some of the products that we were building without being salesy at all. It was all educational. So every Friday we would have a developer meetup, and we would invite the developer community to showcase a new tool, a feature, or problem that we solved on a current project. An example is maybe we were using a new technology that other people in the community had not used yet, and we showed how we used the tool to basically wrap up the project, or to get us through a piece of the project that we weren't able to before. So how can you leverage the things that you're doing day to day, but make it a way for people to educate through that? And because we were teaching our industry new tools, this organically made us the authority in web development. Guest speakers. Now, you could do this as blog posts, or you can do this in person. I like to do it in person because it allows others to do the educating for you. The great thing about a panel discussion, if you do multiple people, is you're able to leverage 3 to 4 times more the marketing alone from these people speaking. Now, why is that? Because those 3 to 4 people have 3 to 4 businesses. And instead of just getting your recognition from you saying, okay, we're going to push this event, you're getting yours, you're getting theirs, and theirs, and theirs, and theirs. So that's 3 to 5 times as much marketing alone that people are going to be talking about. I have to be at this event because it's something that I want to see that one speaker. It's also great for the panel because they don't have to produce as much original content as they would if they were doing a solo speech or a solo discussion. They're able to feed off of other people. And so while panels are a great way to get a lot of bang for your buck, if you will. So what's great about these guest speakers is that a lot of people are able to ask a lot of questions at them too, and you get several different people in the room at any given time. What about blog post? Now, think about education as a ton of different ways to get your information out there. Education is free content, and so if you have content to give, how can you get it out in front of as many people as possible so that you can achieve the goals that you want? In this case, we're going to go over several different ways that you can produce free content to get out to different people without spending a lot of money, if any money at all, to produce this information. And we're going to talk about several different things. First up, blog post. The checklist. You want to create a topic sentence. Make your point in that. That could also be your headline. Have facts, have stats, have stories, have quotes, and how to apply this to other people. So you want to start with making a point. How did I do this? Then you're going to use the facts. I did it by, how did I make $130,000 off of a case of beer? This is a true story. And so the fact is, I went from taking I went from taking a case of beer, which is what, $15 to $30, and I turned that into an event. And then I was able to funnel that down into a gig that got me $130,000. Those are the facts. Then tell a story around it. Okay, so how did you actually do this? Then you want to get a quote from the people that are in it. And then how does this apply? Well, the how to apply piece could be as simple as this. You could use this in your business because it's similar in this kind of way. I think that's where a lot of people get hung up because they can't see how it applies in their industries. And just like you may be listening here, saying, well, I don't know that I want to do an event. It doesn't have to be an event. It can be a piece of content. It's all about the free content, finding the right people, and then funneling that down into the process to get those people to buy what you want them to do. So how can you apply this in your industry? Hosting meetups. We talk a lot about these events because the events are a way for you to gain credibility and get in front of a lot of people really, really quick. So how do you pull off an epic meetup? You want to start with a small niche group, give away something for free, and it doesn't have to be anything like a book or access to something. Giveaway something for free could be as simple as attendance. And so if you want to entice it even more, you could say, this is a $30 meetup and I'm giving it to you for free. You can use words like that to incentivize people saying, oh my goodness, if I'm getting this, that's amazing. I want to be in return. Remember, you're going to collect emails. And in the next part of this module, we're going to go over why it's so important to collect those emails. And you want to follow up with them. And we're going to talk about follow-up and that piece in Module 5, executing the playbook in Module 5 on follow-up. And a great way to figure out what topics to choose. We've talked about ask catch questions a little bit. Poll the market, poll people there at the event. You have your one event. Maybe that's the one that you decide on a specific topic, but then you allow others to generate that content for you, generate those ideas. You don't want to just pick what you think's what people want. The last thing you want to do is only produce what you want, because what you could be missing out on, and what you likely are missing out on, is other people want something. They know that you can give it to them, but you're too afraid to ask, what they want. A great example for us is we have some programs that meet every week, and what we do is about 30% of the time we decide what content we want to give out. The other 70% we allow it to be crowdsourced, and we ask those in our program and say, what are you looking for? Because if they're looking for it, other people in the program are probably looking for it too. And so what we find is those are actually a higher attended event than those that aren't. And so when you crowdsource it, when you ask those questions, you're getting so much information out of those people, you're making them feel relevant, and you're able to get the information that you want by helping others. So you want to be an awesome host. Meet as many people as possible. Don't talk about the sales. Don't talk about sales. You meet at your office and invite those who you think who could in the future become your clients or customers. And you want to follow up with emails. You want to educate them, promote next events, reinforce the topics that you went through, and provide links. We'll go over that very specific process that we call the playbook in Module 5. You guys ready for Module 5? It's coming up soon. So content creation. What is content creation? It should be focused around educating those that you want to be your customers or are currently your customers, creating value through content, and keep people coming to your site, and establish and continue yourself as an authority. Why is it important to be an authority? Because if people look at you as an authority, they will spend more time with you, they will spend more money with you, and they will tell other people about you. And you want that, don't you? You want people to talk about you, send you leads, look at you as the man or the woman. You do want to be the authority. It's important. So what is content? You're thinking to yourself, I don't know what content really is. Well, content is any kind of free or very close to being free information that you can get out to other people that's educating. So, for this case, we'll talk about a few of them. Blog posts, social media posts, webinars, meetups, networking chamber events, calendars. Calendars? Calendars. Why calendars? Well, what do you think about calendars? Because calendars are a way for you to have information out there that people want to find out about, but basically you create a curated list of information so people can find those. Media publications and business cards. Business cards. Yeah. You already know those people. You have those relationships with people. How can you take that and go a little deeper? Blog posts. You see blog posts everywhere. Educational writing, social media, a post about something, whether it's to a video, an image, a way to do something specific, a webinar. A webinar is a way to basically get information out via the web to people with a slideshow and audio in return for them listening. Meetups. Meetups are basically the same as webinars, but a meetup is in physical person. Networking. There are specific networking events out there, chamber events, B&I events, several different types of networking events. Calendars, we just went over that, a way to compile a list of information, a list of dates of events that people want and are looking for, but there's not a clean way to do it, so produce it. A calendar has been a tremendous way that we have been able to establish ourselves and continue to grow and have people find us. Now, you want to create your own calendar, but then also leverage other calendars as well. So if there's a calendar, if you could do, so we have one, it's hatchnorfolk.com/calendar. But also you want to take that calendar and create one on meetup.com, on Eventbrite, on several other different event-related sites so that your stuff is being on other platforms so people can find you as well. Media publications, so several different online and physical paper companies allow you to write educational content for them. Do that. That's a great way to do that. And then business cards, like we said, you already have the business cards from the people, so how can you take that and convert it into customers? So how do you figure out what to write about? We've gone over this a couple of times already, so we'll go over it in less detail, but search how to, whatever the topic you're looking for. Search forums like Reddit to see what kind of pain points on the issues people are talking about. Reddit.com, you see it right there, REDDIT.com, and search in the industries that you're looking at and find where people are talking about it. Here's the great thing. If people aren't talking about it, there's one of two things to think about. Number one, you're not very good at searching that, or number two is people just don't care. And so if that's the case, maybe you're the only person that has that problem, and you should probably move on. Also, follow trends. Optimize your search engine marketing and relevant hashtags. Follow trends. So if people are talking about, so when creating content, if people are talking about a specific topic recently, you should try and find ways to leverage what people are talking about so that you can talk about those things at the same time. It allows you to get into other networks and other platforms that you might not have already been in. So if the stock market was to crash, knock on wood, maybe you talk about the financial impacts of your industry in that. It's a way for you to leverage this whole other gorilla by putting in your industry and connecting the two. Whenever you can make that connection, it's a great way. So think about the Super Bowl and how they bring on musicians to be at their Super Bowl. Why do they do that? Because they realize that those musicians and those NFL fans might not connect together. Same with those commercials. How can you connect people to watch those things? And I know it's on a large scale, but not everyone watches football. But people want to watch the commercials and people want to watch the halftime. So basically, you got a high percentage of people that want to watch the football, high percentage of people that want to watch the commercials. But it's the one event where people are actually watching the commercials instead of channel surfing to something else. So follow trends when you can and connect networks together when possible. Social media. Emphasize on the education. Free content equals value. If people scroll through your social accounts and all they see is sales, 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 guess what? They're not going to come back to your social accounts. Establish yourself as the authority in the industry. Do it by educating. Don't be too salesy. Don't become a part of the clutter. Well, here's what I want you to do. Get on Facebook right now. Get on Twitter and scroll through. I'll wait for a minute for you to do it. I'll do it with you. Scroll through. Keep going, keep going. Why are you stopping? When you're going through Facebook, you're probably scrolling pretty quickly. When you're reading a newspaper, you're probably going pretty quickly. When you're on Twitter, you're probably going pretty quickly. Instagram, etc. What stops you? What triggers you to stop? Not because I told you to stop. You're scrolling through and there's something that stops you. What is that thing? In the next part of this module, we will go over key ways to communicate with people by educating them on specific posts, and we'll show you examples for that. But be thinking about what stops you. A lot of people stop for babies and cats. I wonder why that is. What stops you when you are on your social accounts? How do you stand out? That's what we're talking about. How do you stand out when you're in a clouded world? Remember, 1 out of 5,000 ads, and you want people to stop. And don't look at ads as, just being paid ads. It doesn't have to be that. An ad can be free content as well. Posts like "come see us today" or "visit our website now" come off as a standard business just waving their arms in front of you in your face to try and get attention. Do that right now. Hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. As I'm recording this and there's people in this room with me, they're like, what is this guy doing? Hello, I'm here. Come see me. I'm here. I'm here. One of my favorite stories of this was about 3 years ago. I moved into a brand new downtown office, and I wanted to meet someone. And so he owned a restaurant who's a very popular person in town. And the story is quite simple. I went to his restaurant 3 to 4 times a week to try and meet this guy. But instead of going up and meeting him, saying, hey, I'd like to meet you, I was in the noise, but I didn't reach out to him. And so 6 months went by, and I decided not to go back anymore because I wasn't getting the goal that I wanted. I was there, physically there, but I didn't do what I wanted them. I didn't do the one thing that I wanted to do, which was meet this person. And so what's interesting is that about a week after I stopped going, this person stopped me on the street and said, hey, I just read about you in the newspaper. And I said, oh, really? That's interesting. And this person, his name's Phil. And so 6 months goes by, right? And I'm there, but I never do the one thing I want the person to do. If you want people to learn from you, you need to tell them to learn from you. You need to educate them. If you want to meet someone, you need to go up to that person and shake their hand and meet that person. And, like I was saying, that a week goes by after I stopped going there, and he comes up to me and says, you've been in my restaurant several times, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's great to finally meet you. I could have had that conversation 6 months before. Don't be in a noisy world and not stop to do the things that you want to do, because it's amazing how many people go to a networking event, meet with people, but never follow up. Don't just go there and not do anything with it. You have to achieve what you want. You have to do it. You have to physically do it. It's not going to come to you. And great story is that Phil and I are pretty good friends now. And to think that, our relationship is only, 2 years old instead of 2.5 years old. If you want a result, you have to go get it. Provide something in exchange for their attention. Could be a piece of free content. Contagious and engaging content. You don't want to just put together a quick little post. You want people to want to read it, to learn from it, to want to engage with you, and to share it with their networks. I'm sure you've seen tons of media posts where people share it, comment in the comments of other people's names. That's what you're going for. You're going for contagious and engaging content. Do your research. Find out what people want to know. Remember, we've talked about all these events and then asking people to ask you questions. So don't just get that information and not share it. Share that information. Create a mix of your own original content and what others have already created. Always provide the context, not just a link, and encourage your readers to participate and respond and give their 2 cents. If people feel welcomed, they will want to share your information to them. Creating conversations. A great way to leverage platforms and to meet new people is to go communicate with them. Get your followers to engage with each other. Co-creation. Getting your followers to make their own creative response to your content that makes up for an open response landscape stemming from your post. So what you want them to do is to respond, to communicate with you and the others on your platforms. And always respond. We're not joking here. Don't leave your followers hanging. How many times have someone tweeted you or Facebooked you or commented you or called you? Is it called phone called? I don't know. Emailed you and you just leave them hanging. Seriously. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago and someone had just started their business and she says, I'm amazed at how many people I meet that never follow up. It's the same thing. Communication and customer service is huge. If all you do is have the exact same product as someone else but have the best customer service in the world, you're probably going to win. Think about Chick-fil-A. You know what you're going to get there. You're going to get the My Pleasure. You're going to get the great customer experience, the customer service. That's what you're looking for. If you don't do anything else but to have amazing customer service, you will do better than 90% of the other people that are out there. Customer service is important, if not the most important thing out there. Ignoring them leaves them with a sour taste in their mouth, and you don't want people talking bad about your brand. This also establishes a connection and makes your brand feel more real to others. So how do you make money from this content? Exchange info for free content. The best piece of data would be an email. For collected emails, when we use an email as the medium, we see 500 to 1,000 times different than social media posts. These are real numbers, folks. Why? Because email is physically in someone's inbox and impression-based is social media. And just like you're scrolling through, I had you scroll through earlier on Facebook. If you're on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram or on LinkedIn and you're expecting everyone to get that information, they're not. When you send it to their email, guess what? They do. An example, we have an event called the State of the Startup Community Address. I emailed previous customers to attend this event. Within minutes of being sent, we had direct sales linked from the email. How do I do this? I checked. I knew exactly who opened it and then who bought it. Similar, and I put a similar post on Facebook and Twitter. 0 buys. 0 buys. The email had the direct sale. You want to communicate, and we'll go over that email more in the next part of this module. And you want to communicate with a purpose. Ask your current customers what they'd like to see from you. Ask your current customers what they'd like to see from you. We're going to do a hard sell plus crafted emails and content. We will get to that. Don't worry. You will make money on this. You want to reach out to them individually and find the right time. What I find crazy is everyone wants to scale. Everyone wants to talk about how do I scale this? How do I scale this? How do I scale this? Well, in early times, in the early business, it's not about scale. It's about finding those people, and reaching out to people individually has been something that has grown, has helped us grow tremendously. There was 3 or 4 years ago, there was a big media publication that was looking to do an event in a city in the Mid-Atlantic, and they had already 2 cities chosen, and they said, where else should we go? I saw the publication, and I started to I told the publication, hey, come to Norfolk, Virginia. And then I went and told every single person in my network that I thought would be a good fit for it to also send that same note. 5 days later, they were in Norfolk, Virginia. I cannot express how important reaching out to people individually is don't just do everything to the masses. If you ask someone individually, that means so much more than if you just blast something out. Find your champions and talk to them a lot. What are those people looking for? What do they need, and how can you help them? And finally, educate your customers. We'll recap. Educate your customers to create value, create awesome content on social media, on emails, and meetups. Because educating and creating content is the single most important thing that will never go away. You guys did awesome. What's up next? Marketing. How do you take that content and take it to the bank? Take it to the bank. Marketing is next.